And go back to the game real quick. So there we go. Yeah. Yeah, so just let me know when you see it.
Yep.
Is it there?
Hey.
Alright,
Yep.
cool.
Everything's there.
Nice. Alright, so we'll just wait like a minute or two. See if more people show up. I assume, I guess when you're watching it, you probably mute it so that you don't hear two of us, right?
I do, yeah. But it lags just a tiny bit, so then if I do hear it, then it's kind of like a, what is it, speech jammer?
Oh yeah.
kind of thing. So I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
my brain can't handle this.
What was I doing? Okay. Oh yeah, so one thing I like to do in this is once you get back, because the thing is, on my first playthrough, I didn't really care about fighting like every single enemy.
Yeah.
So what I like to do is when I enter back in, you know, after like stopping and reloading and everything, is fight the enemies that are like a little bit behind me, like where I just was.
Oh. It's kind of like when you start back at a bookmarked page in a book, and then like you have to reread the last couple paragraphs before you continue.
Yeah, yeah, it's kind of like that, yeah. But just like in general, I feel
right,
like
yeah, you're fighting a car or a motorcycle.
yeah. I hope the audio. Can you actually unmute it just to check how the audio is? Because I don't know if the game's audio might have like reset. It's loud to me, so that's why I'm wondering.
It sounds okay.
Oh, okay, yeah. I was just wondering because it always sounds loud to me, but you know, in the stream it sounds differently because like I've changed everything else.
I think it's balanced enough.
Okay, that's fine. Yeah, there we go. So, welcome everybody. We're back. Oh, I didn't get this chest down here.
How very dare you?
Yeah, I know. And that's pretty dangerous in this game because, you can't backtrack. Oh, not that it matters, just like some...
Yeah, but you have to go, pull out, ATM fee there?
Yeah.
Well,
the thing about it in this game is that once you like finish the game or whatever, or not even that, until you get to Grand Pulse, which is on chapter 11, with the exception, well, no, there's no exceptions. Yeah, so the only part of the game you can return to after going through it is anything from chapter 11 onward. So you can't return to any area that was on anything.
So what chapter are we on right now?
I don't know. Let me check. Is it under events? We're on chapter 3, I think. Because the data log fills out as you... Yeah, so we must be on chapter 3 right now. Yeah, we're on chapter 3.
Cool.
Yeah. So what were we doing?
I was about to ask that question. It's like, oh, let's recap what we were doing. We already talked about the Crystarium.
Yeah.
Last time.
So what I'm doing now is I'm just sort of filling out the rest of the paradigms.
I almost said chrysanthemum, like the flower. But then I was like, what's it called? Oh, it's right there in front of me.
You know what's interesting actually is I learned recently watching Pez's stream that Lightning was gonna have a different name.
What was her name gonna be?
Well, do you know what her real name is? This is a spoiler, by the way.
Tell me more.
Yeah, this is a spoiler, but I'm just hoping that nobody gives a shit. But Lightning's real name is Claire. And apparently in development, her name Well, Claire was like a prototype name that they decided to stick with, I suppose. So, you know, it's one of those. But... yeah, so her name, originally her name, instead of Claire, her name was going to be Averia. And there's like a flower called Averia, apparently. You could look it up if you want.
Is it pink? Oh, okay.
I think it's either pink or red, because her...
Averia.
Yeah.
That is... How do you spell that?
It's like Avery, but replace the Y at the end with IA.
Oh. Yeah, it's pink.
Yeah. So basically, in development, Lightning was going to be a pretty different character to the, in terms of personality. She was going to be pretty different from how she ended up. She was gonna, first of all, she wasn't going to have like legitimately pink hair. Her hair was going to be like a dark red.
Okay.
And she was going to be. So the Lightning that we know is like very. I guess you could say stoic.
But you know, you can't trust redheads, so they could not make her a redhead.
I think the pink. I think it looks pretty good on her, honestly.
My husband and I actually had a friend that dyed her hair that color, and we were both like, "That's like."
Yeah.
To each other. But she was like, she had no idea about video games or anything, so we couldn't really tell her and be like, "You look like this anime."
Yeah.
Or this thing.
But yeah, so originally Lightning, and actually if you're so inclined, I haven't read the whole thing, but if you go on the Final Fantasy wiki and just look at Lightning's page, and scroll down, you can find like all of the information about her original.
Everything's spoiled for you.
Oh well, yeah, but you can actually skip all the spoiler stuff and just skip to the. Well, I guess it's, in a way, it's also a little bit spoilers because again, her real name is a spoiler, and you find out at the end of. Chapter
Do they ever
11.
reference? Do they ever reference like some person named Claire? Otherwise, prior to that, or no?
No, the name never comes up until.
It was just like story time, story, and then oh hey, my name is Claire.
Well, she's not the one who brings it up. Actually, the way
somebody's like, hey, you know, her name's Claire, and then everybody's like, what?
Well, the way it happens is it's kind of like that sort of. The villain brings it up. The villain the villain disguises himself as Sarah.
Yeah.
And then
that's the guy that Snow is hard for, right?
Sarah, yeah, Sarah's Lightning's sister. And they're fiancés. I think I recognize it from somewhere. So yeah, so the villain at the end of like chapter 11, I think, sort of, what's the word? He
reveals.
Well, yeah. Well, the thing is, he disguises himself as Sarah to try to, I guess, bring Lightning and everybody else to sort of like convince them to do what he wants them to do, which is, you know, destroy Cocoon.
Right.
But like at this point, they had already decided that they weren't going to do that.
Yeah.
So, you know,
wait, wasn't she like frozen?
Yeah, she's frozen, but the guy.
Yeah. Okay.
He's disguising himself to try to trick them.
Gotcha.
And in that, as he's, you know, transformed.
I'm going to the ATM.
Yeah. As he's transformed, he says Lightning's real name. So, and it's really interesting as well, because there's a point.
I was just thinking.
Yeah.
Sorry. I'll get to it after you finish.
There's like a point. There's a point earlier in the story because like Lightning and Snow are always like at each other's throats until like chapter 7 or something like that.
Why?
Oh shit. Just because, they're kind of opposite people. Lightning and Snow. Okay, so here's where you find out that game overs don't mean a single goddamn thing in this game, because, I just got a game over, and I'm right exactly back where, like, not even 2 steps away from where I just was.
Did you go to the ATM already?
Yeah. Like, literally, it doesn't matter at all. And also, this is where, like, it's so easy to just get a preemptive strike in this game, and, like, how big of a difference it makes in battle. Like, we're gonna kill these guys.
Actual dude.
Yeah.
Humanoid person.
Like, we're gonna kill these guys in, like, 10 seconds now, because we got a preemptive strike and we didn't get one last time. So yeah, but anyway, like I was saying, Lightning and Snow are kind of opposite people, in a way. So Lightning is, like, incredibly pessimistic and like a lone wolf. And Snow, you know, Snow's really optimistic and wants to, you know, work together with everybody. And so, and also, Lightning kind of doesn't... It's not that she doesn't trust Snow, it's more like she just doesn't like him. Actually, something that apparently you can read about in the Ultimania or something like that, one of those, you know, Japanese books of, like, extra content that they never localize for whatever reason.
Contento.
Yeah, that's exactly it, yeah. Apparently in the Ultimania you can read that, Snow acts kind of like how Lightning's father used to act. And she never, just sort of like a free-flowing person.
I was just personally thinking it was like the undergrad student frame of mind versus the doctoral student frame of mind.
Well, I never went to college, so you'll have to...
I'm happy-go-lucky, and I'm fresh to college, and then the doctoral student is like, I'm so jaded, I just need to, like, finish everything on my own.
Yeah. Well, I guess so, yeah, sort of. Well, the thing is, Lightning and Snow are actually the same age. But ultimately what it is, I think, is that, not just that, like, Snow reminds Lightning of her father, but, you know, also, since Lightning and Sarah's parents died, Lightning's only focus has been to take care of Sarah, and she just doesn't think that Snow is anywhere close to the best person for Sarah to get married to.
Sure. Hey, Artificial Pup, I just saw your chat.
Oh yeah. Hey man.
Little doggo emoji.
I wanted to, I don't know if Pup is still there, but something I was wondering about, if you're still watching, is I was watching, like, what was it? I was watching some videos of people beating the last, like, mission mark. What was I was gonna ask you something, like, what was it? Something about, I don't know. It was like, oh yeah, why, I remember now. Why, so he did, like, you know, videos of all the bosses and stuff at the end of the game as, like, solo characters. So Pup, if you're watching, let me know why you changed the battle speed to slow for the final, for that final encounter with, what's his name? Vercingetorix, or what, however you say his name. So yeah, if you're in the chat and you're still watching, just let me know why that made a difference.
He's just lurking.
It's probably a pretty long answer. I don't know if they're still watching. But yeah, I was watching. I was trying to figure out how, like, so the thing about that final super boss or whatever is that obviously it's like the hardest. It's like the hardest, arguably the hardest boss in the game. Because, you know, you're meant to fight it, like, once you've filled out the Crystarium and you've got everybody's, like, ultimate weapons and stuff. But the thing is, like, you can really easily beat him with just poison. Just, like, make sure you stick poison on as soon as you can, and then just guard for the rest of the fight. But the thing is that Snow and Fang don't learn poison. So if you're doing a solo run, you can't, like, choose your way through the fight. And so I put in 13 into the 360 a few days ago just to, like, test things out. And the thing is, like, when you do a solo run, it's best if you have other characters, like, how would you say?
That's not an ATM.
It looks well, it's like a future ATM.
It's a shop. It's a kiosk.
A kiosk, yeah, that's what it is. Was I going this way? HP.
Let's get magical! Magical!
Hey, I can afford this one. Okay. What was I saying? Yeah, so Snow and Fang don't learn poison, and I was thinking I'd want to do... Because Snow and Fang are, like, my favorite characters in the game. So I was thinking of doing, like, a solo run for them. And I was thinking about, like, how I would beat that boss as Snow and Fang, even though they don't learn poison. So I guess you just kind of have to power through, I suppose. Yeah. So I don't know, but I noticed that when Pup did their solo run with lightning, he had to turn the battle speed to slow, and I'm not sure why, like what impact that has on, like how that makes it easier or whatever. So.
To each his own.
I'm just thinking of like how that makes a difference in the game, because, you know, I normally don't have the battle speed on slow because I'd rather just things go as fast as possible. But there might be some sort of... But the thing is, like, the attack animations aren't slower.
Kitties!
Oh, yeah. Yeah, the attack animations aren't slower. It's just the way... You know how there's, like, an ATB bar? It's just that charges 50% slower for every... Like, for you and the enemies, so...
Did you see his response?
No, I'm not looking at the chat. If you want to... Did he say something?
Yeah. He says, he sets it to slow so that Vert's attacks are more manageable. The 12-second ATB refresh can also be better taken advantage of.
It can be what? What did you say?
Better taken advantage of.
Oh, okay. Yeah, so there's this thing called the ATB refresh. I had to
refresh.
I had to look this up actually because I was told. Well, I don't remember how I learned this. I think the game. I don't even know if the game tells you this or if like or if I just learned it by playing the game eventually. But there's this trick where you can increase. You can basically get a free ATB gauge. I thought the way you...
No matter what the setting of the speed, the ATB refresh will always activate in 12 seconds.
Yeah, so that's the thing. That's because I originally, until I read
thanks,
the...
Pup.
Yeah, thanks, I appreciate that. Okay, so that makes more sense, yeah. So basically you can get a full free ATB gauge, like without having to wait for it to charge, by waiting 12 seconds and shifting paradigms.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry everyone.
It's okay. Yeah, so he apparently in slow mode that still works. It's really weird because like the first time I played the game I thought the refresh worked by you have to take action in like, you know, wait for the bar to fill up and then use the action, you know, use a full queue of abilities, and then shift paradigms, and then, you know, after you shift, you have to input the queue that's been saved up, and then, you know, wait for the bar to charge again, and then use that full queue of abilities, and then so basically the way it works, the way I thought it worked was like you put in 2 queues, and then if you paradigm shift again, you'll get a third one for free, basically, and then you put another one in manually, and then if you shift again, you get another free gauge. That's how I thought it worked, but apparently it's just every 12 seconds. So it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter how big the bar is. It doesn't matter how many times you input the commands. It's just every 12 seconds, and apparently it still works in slow mode, so that just makes everything so much easier. That's gonna be super hard though, because like I've been thinking about what weapons to give him and all that stuff, like specifically for Snow.
Yeah.
It turns out Snow, if you have like even a little bit of like resist damage equipment, you can pretty much, because he has so much HP, he has like the highest HP out of every character. He can pretty much, like, no matter what role he's in, he can take like and the way that final super boss works is like every, I don't know exactly what the circumstances are, but like pretty much every 20 to 30 seconds the boss like enters into this invulnerability state where it just blocks everything and regens, basically. So I've been thinking about, like, you know, you basically need to be faster than, you need to deal more damage than he can regenerate. That's basically...
Yeah. Faster.
And like that, in my opinion, that's a hard boss even like normally, under normal circumstances, so yeah, that's gonna be hard. I've been looking at like the stats for like every character's weapons and shit like that. I feel like Snow actually has the best, like the strongest weapons, because he can, I think he's the only character in the game who has access to a weapon that gives him like 1,000 strength and magic. So
gotcha.
And the thing is, you kind of only really need one of those. You don't really need both a bunch of magic and a bunch of strength. But, you know, if you want it, you can have it, so... Yeah.
Okay, so tell me a little bit about these mobs here. These, like, demon people. Are they, like, robots? Or...
No, these are real people.
They're actual people, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, this is XIII. They're one of the, yeah, like, how would you say, like, the, one of, like, the defense sectors. I guess it's kind of like our executive branch. So XIII is, like... XIII is focused on, like... unless I'm getting this wrong, XIII is focused on, like, war and stuff like that, in case, you know... They're, like... I guess they would be comparable to the military or the army. And the Guardian Corps, which is what Lightning used to be part of.
I thought they were gonna get the preemptive strike then.
No. Oh, yeah, you know, that's something interesting,
It's
because...
like the way you fell down.
Yeah, exactly.
Like,
there's an animation, like you just saw it. There's an animation where your character gets caught surprised. And, like, it makes me wonder if, like, in early development there was originally a plan for, like, for the enemy to get a preemptive strike. And, I don't know. Part of me kind of likes that idea, because I feel like the game is... I mean, this game isn't easy, but, like, once you know what's going on, like, once you've played the game before, the game, like, everything except for the late game and post-game is difficult. Or I mean easy. Every part of the game is pretty easy if you know exactly what's going on. So, yeah, I think, and that's something else as well, because like this game is like, next year this game will be 10 years old, and so everybody's thinking about like, if they were to remaster this like they did with FF10 and FF12, what kind of things would you expect? And I've thought of like a whole bunch of, you know.
I don't think they would though.
Would do what?
Do a remastered version of this.
Oh yeah, okay, so here's the thing.
Because there's such a like wide divide for people who like it and then for people who don't like it. You know, I don't think it's too they're not gonna make as much money, I don't think, by putting out a remaster.
Well, here's the thing about it. That's definitely true in America, but in Asia that's not true at all. So like in America, this game has kind of a bad reputation, I guess you could say. I mean, none of this has ever stopped these games from selling, which is what ultimately matters most to Square, or any company, you know, any video game company. I mean, yeah. So opinion doesn't really matter.
Okay.
Just to let you know, it's more like how many copies did the game sell? That's kind of all they really give a shit about.
Okay.
So this game sold.
So they're more
well.
like driven by hype than actual opinion?
Yeah, but the thing is, I'll give you another example. FF12 was like pretty damn poorly received when it came out.
Yeah.
And now that they made this remaster, now a ton of the people who initially hated the game absolutely love it. So there's no reason they can't do the same thing with this game. I mean,
like, did they fix things? Did they just like simply like make it prettier, or did they actually change?
Well, sort of. They changed
of the engine.
12 is kind of a strange example because from the very beginning, 12 always had like, how would you describe it? So basically, they had a completely different like combat and level up system, or maybe not level up, but like the combat system was different for the Western and Eastern versions of the game. And don't ask me why. I have no idea why they decided to do that. In my opinion, that's completely unnecessary to make different battle systems for different regions, but Square did it, I guess. Anyway, this new version is like a slightly enhanced version of the Japanese version, or the Japanese battle system. Basically, you have more options in the Zodiac Age. That's the name of the remaster.
Who's this friend?
Garuda Interceptor. This is oh, they don't drop anything, but yeah,
is it a bird or a dragon?
It's a dragon.
Okay.
See, it's hard to tell with things like these if this is like, because like it's really fucking glowing and everything. I really don't know if this is a machine.
How the fuck is it flying? Because it's got like such like.
Well, how are we flying? I don't know if I'm allowed to see this. This cutscene is really just hype as fuck, but I don't think I'm allowed to show this. Fucking, if you can believe this, the previous stream we did, I skipped every cutscene except for this one small, like, in-game cut. Like, there was no transition to this cutscene. It was just, like, in the game. And, that counted as, like, copyright shit. But I didn't see any ads, so it doesn't matter. But, yeah, so I missed this one fucking cutscene where she, like, hits a downed ship to, like, use its gun and tear down this wall or whatever, so that we can get through.
Yeah. I'm just... How is this flying? It's like... It basically looks like Mothman, sort of. Like those wings? Because...
Just stay out of my way.
That's not aerodynamic at all.
But yeah,
anime. I was like, when I was first introduced to anime, I was like, why is this person doing this? Or why does this person look like this? And then My husband would just say.
Something I liked about this game when I first played it was like it kind of felt like I was playing an anime, which was like the coolest fucking thing to me. Yeah, but yeah. So the alternate question would be, why are we flying? Because like if you, I don't know if you were paying attention.
Because they're not human.
Yeah, well, neither the enemies aren't human either. So.
No, but I mean. I don't know, you caught me in a conundrum and I feel
yeah, we
dumb.
locked more roles for Saz and Vanille. Yeah. Anyway, something interesting about that is oops. It's kind of.
What'd you do?
Oh, I pressed pause during the save thing. And we're back with snow.
Where?
You don't have to win this battle, by the way. But you can if you want to.
Oh, okay. You could lose for fun.
Yeah, I like trying to beat him just because it's fun. What was I saying? Yeah, so later on, you encounter enemies that are like flying Seath. Oh, I can't show this.
For a minute there, I thought you said Seek, and I was like, are you a racist?
Okay, so here's the Eidolon battle. This was the part I couldn't finish when I played the game at your house because I didn't know how to beat it. Yeah, pro tip, all you need to do during this fight is just defend.
Those ladies are like... Rip up that patriarchy. Wait, is one of them kind of like... part vehicle? Because it looked like in her hair she's got this like wheel thing.
Yeah, well the thing is I don't know if you remember this, but they transform. The summons transform in this game. And Snow's Shiva transforms into a motorcycle.
So when you were talking about having some, like, a Western release and an Eastern release, so Transformers came from Japan, but, like, they had to make it different for the Japanese audience versus the American audience.
Yeah.
As far as, like, the toys themselves, because they started off as toys before they made up a story, or the cartoon, or whatever. And the Japanese Transformers, they would call it something else, I forget what they're called, but they were a little bit more, like, complicated in their transformation. Like, when you would try, like, handle the toy, and you would transform it into a different thing. And it's not like they would all be transformed into vehicles either. Some of them be kind of something that like American kids wouldn't find fascinating. Like, I'm gonna turn into a computer kind of thing. Or transform into a computer from a robot. Whereas the American version is less complicated of a transformation, but then it's also like, it's going to be a muscle car, it's going to be a truck, like...
I hope this isn't copyright, because I can't skip this.
I bet it is.
I don't know. Not that it matters, because there's no... I didn't see any advertisements again, so... That was all I really cared about. So I'll be honest, I'm not a fan of like motorcycles and shit, or just vehicles in general, but this motorcycle's fucking badass.
Our dad used to have a motorcycle.
Yeah, I remember that. Or I remember him telling me.
Well, same. I remember him saying that. I remember pictures of him.
Yeah.
on his motorcycle. But then, like, he said that he had like a little spill or something, and then he was
And your mama got scared and said, "Moving with your auntie and Uncle in Bel Air."
no better. But no, I think he just took a little spill that it wasn't too bad, but it was, like it shook him.
Scary enough to make you not want to do
He
it.
was quaking. No.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's like one of those things where it's like it happened once and you're like,
Yeah.
no. My life just flashed before my eyes and I don't want it flashing again until it is time.
Until I have no control over whether that happens or not.
Right, yeah.
Okay.
New merchandise available. Go to the kiosk.
Okay.
You know, with you skipping all of the cutscenes, we'd never see the baby chocobo that he has.
Actually, no, you do get to see it if you summon. Like, very briefly, you get to see it when he summons.
Oh. I'm all about that Afro bow. Choco Afro bow. Does he have a name, the chocobo?
Yeah, Chocolina.
Chocolina. Just call it, like, chicken Afro. Afro chicken.
Okay. Yeah, so here's the thing. Here's what what I was trying to say last time about the Crystarium. You always have, like, let's look at Vanille here. You always have at least 3 choices. It's not just it's not just a straight. I mean, it is a straight line in each one, with a little bit of deviation sometimes.
Sure.
But you don't have, like, especially on your first playthrough, you're not going to have enough Crystagen to fill out the Crystarium because they're probably not going to be fighting absolutely everybody. So. Yeah.
I mean, like, the layout of it, too, kind of looks a little too connect the dotsy, so, you know, I can see where people are thinking it's too linear.
Oh yeah, I mean, it's not
kind of thing.
it's not open enough for me to, you know, do anything I want, which is, again, something if they ever, you know, like remastered this game. And so, yeah, something else I was going to say about that was if they remastered it, they don't need to graphically remaster it because honestly this game looks amazing already. Like it looks like a PS4 game already. So with the exception of Lightning Returns, honestly some of the textures in that game are total ass.
I am a potato.
Yeah. So, what was I doing here? Yeah, so if they remastered it, all they really need to do is add a hard mode, and that's about it. Oh, and then also, you know, I made like a huge list of like things I would like to see in a remaster of this game. What time is it, by the way?
Oh. For me or for you?
I can figure it out if you just tell me.
Oh,
it's
it's 11:12.
Oh, okay. So yeah, we'll go for like a little bit longer.
Yeah, we could go another 45 minutes. I'm fine with that.
Yeah. Let's see. Yeah. So I made like a huge list of stuff I'd like to see in a remaster. One of them was like allow me to choose, because like the thing is when you at the start of the game you don't get to choose which paradigms or roles every character learns. They're predetermined essentially based on the character's personality. So if I could choose, like in a remaster, like in essentially a hard mode or something like that, if I could choose to put a character into a different role or group of roles, I think that'd be pretty cool. Yeah. So we're in a new area now, and the party's a bit more split up. We're not in a group of 3 anymore.
Right.
What other roles do I need here? Lightning doesn't have the medic role yet, so I'm a bit fucked in that sense. Oh, I can switch these two. Yeah, yeah. Oh, switch these two, okay. Yeah. So, essentially, like you're seeing here, half the battle is fought, like, before you even enter battle. It's, you know, creating good paradigms is sort of part of what you need to do to successfully win. And, you know, if you find yourself, like, dying a lot or whatever, you could just experiment with different paradigms and see what the best thing to do is. So, I think that's pretty
Is this a different kitty?
Yeah, this is a Thexteron. It's green. It's like the other ones, but it's green.
Yeah.
And it casts Bravery. Oh, Hope only knows Protect for some reason.
Stay sharp.
He's a whiny little bitch.
What else were we talking about last? Oh, yes. So something else, obviously. The Dissidia reveal wasn't snow, like it should have been.
Yeah, Pup mentioned that. He said he's sorry to hear that it wasn't snow.
Yeah. So here's the thing about that reveal. The actual character was the 11 villain Kamlanaut, or however you say his name. And that's fine. I mean, I think on it, if I'm being honest, I think he looks a little bit dull as like in terms of moveset. But you know, I don't really. He's a specialist, and we only have like 5 of those, so that's, you know, that's cool. But regardless of like how he plays or who he is or whatever, here's the thing about what Square did there was kind of a fuck up. So like I was saying in the last stream about like how they were revealing the characters, what should I go for here? I'll go for the commando stuff. So the way the way they announced the characters, so that's what I meant. The way they announced the characters was like, it's a male or a female. It's from the first half or the second half of Final Fantasy, so Final Fantasy 1 through 7 or 8 through 15. And it's either a new character to Dissidia or a veteran, or like somebody who's already been in Dissidia before. So that's how they that's how they announced the characters, so that people can like guess, oh, is it going to be this character, is it going to be this character, or whatever, you know. So so that's how they like hyped it up and shit. So so the problem with this is that because so they said the 5th character. So we've gotten 4 characters now, including the guy who just joined. So the next character is the 5th character in the season pass, and they said that this 5th character is a female who is a veteran to Dissidia, so they were in the previous game, and they're from the second half of Final Fantasy, so from 8 to 15. And the thing is, there's only 2 characters who fit that description. It's either Yuna from 10 or Prish from 11, and the character they just introduced was from 11, Kamlanaut. So there's no
chances of them having another 11.
Yeah, there's pretty much, unless they're, and like they know they're gonna piss people off if they include multiple people from the same game. So there's basically absolutely no way that it's Prish. Like, it's essentially, what I'm saying is Yuna is like 300% or like triple confirmed at this point.
Right, yeah, I would think so too.
Yeah, so like it's either Yuna or Prish, and they're not going to add another character from 11, especially right after another 11 character. So yeah, so they kind of, and I was thinking to myself, like, this is what makes sense, right? So they announced Snow so that they don't spoil the 5th character, who is Yuna, or Prish, you know, but, I mean, because of the leak and the data mine, you know, we know that it's gonna be Yuna. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, Kamlanaut was also on the list, and he's from 11. So there's no way that Kamlanaut is the 4th character, because that would give away that the 5th character is Yuna. So, and I was thinking to myself, you know, Snow must be the 4th character, because there's no way Square is stupid enough to spoil their own reveal like that, right? Right? And so I would dismiss this notion with, nah, they're not that stupid. But from the darkness, from the deep darknesses of my subconscious, emerged a thought. Emerged a thought that went, yes, they are that stupid.
Yes.
And it turns out that that is completely correct. So basically, even if you didn't know about the leak or the data mine, you know who the next character is. So, and they, you know, they, for whatever reason, they love their, you know, special surprise reveal shit. And they just completely fucked it. But the thing is, they did this apparently with Kane when he was announced. They were like, apparently what they were saying, from what I've heard, I wasn't paying attention to the game at the time, but what they said was like, okay, so we're gonna add a new female character, and it's, you know, a hero, and everybody was like, oh shit, it's gonna be Tifa, and then they revealed it's Kane, but then everybody's like, Kane's not a fucking female, you dipshits.
Yeah, yeah. Haha, gotcha.
Oh, Hope's dead. I don't know if I'm gonna be able to win this fight. Oh shit, yeah, I'm not gonna be able to. Well, I don't want to use a Phoenix Down, even though I never use Phoenix Downs, so let's see if I can just potion this battle. Oh. Let's see if this works. Oh wow, that was easy. Yep. I guess it's better to use potions now, because not only are they cheaper than Phoenix Downs, but also, like, potions are not useful at all in the late game. Like, this is the last time potions are going to be useful. Because they always heal, I think it's 150 HP or something like that. Unless you're wearing, like, a special accessory that increases the amount. So, yeah, so I might as well use the potions now that they'll be useful. Yeah, so basically, we have to wait another, like, 4 months to see Snow in December. So that's sad, but on the plus side, I'll probably be done with my challenge runs by then, so that's good. Yeah. But in terms of stuff I'd like to see in a remaster of this game. Yeah, basically just a hard mode, and let me, like, choose what roles to put everybody in. I guess something like that. Like, if I want to make Lightning a Saboteur or something like that, I should be allowed to choose what her roles are. So, yeah. And there's something else as well. Like, there's this thing where, like, the Crystarium is locked until, or like, the next, you can only progress so far in the Crystarium until you get to, like, the end, and then it unlocks after you beat, like, the chapter boss or whatever. And the thing is, I don't really see a point in that, because the costs of the next stage, like a crystal or a node in one stage could cost, like, 900 or something. And then in the next stage, it could cost like 4,000 or something. So it's like, even if the costs are, or like even if it's locked off, I'm not going to be getting those abilities anyway because I don't have enough Christogen to unlock it without like a bunch of ridiculous grinding. So I don't really see a point in locking the Crystarium, personally. So I think they could afford to get rid of that in a remaster. But yeah, again, it's not like this game needs a graphical update or anything because, again, it looks pretty good. Especially the CG in this game looks fantastic. So yeah, basically just a hard mode. Also, they could add the characters from 13.2, Sarah and Noel. They could add them to like the post-game heavy plays them too. I think that'd be pretty cool. I don't know how the summoning would work because they don't have summons because they're not in the sea. So they would have to like, I guess they'd have to invent something for them, or just not have them have summons or something. I don't know. I don't know how they would do it, but I think it'd be pretty cool. So yeah.
You get tired?
Yeah, and then other than that, obviously, I think they should just, like, not just this game, I think they just should put the whole trilogy together and have it, you know, so that you can play the whole trilogy on PS4.
Like a bundle?
Yeah, like a bundle, but hopefully it doesn't cost more than, like, well, each game, so, like, on Steam, I think, each game is $20, I think. Except for maybe the first one. The first one might be a bit cheaper. And that's not even counting sales.
That's actually pretty good.
Yeah, so if you put them all together, that's $60.
That's usually how much one would cost.
Yeah. So I think, you know, since they don't really need to graphically upgrade this game at all they would have to do is add gameplay stuff, which, to be fair, is not easy. You know, there's plenty of programming to be done, but, you know, yeah, they could, you know, I don't know. I've heard that this game was like a major bitch to program because they had to make a new, I don't know if we talked about this last time, but they had to make a new, like, what's it called? A new, I mean, apparently Square just...
Like engine?
Yeah, apparently Square just fucking loves making new engines for every single game, even though it's not really necessary.
Right.
So, yeah, and they made a new one for this game, obviously. I think we talked about this last time, but the only games that use crystal tools are this game, or the whole trilogy, I should say. So 13.2, Lightning Returns, one of the Dragon Quest games, I'm not sure which one it is, and, what was the other one? Final Fantasy XIV, and that's it. So yeah, yeah, and apparently a lot of the problem comes from the fact that they wanted to make this multi-platform, which I think is pretty honorable. Like, that's, in my opinion, that's a good reason to spend time making a new engine.
For sure.
Yeah. So, yeah, I'm trying to think of, like,
let's see, what else, so we're waiting for Snow, right?
Yeah.
To join. And I forgot how long they split up for.
Oh, in this game?
Yeah.
It's a pretty long time. It would seem like longer if you if you're watching the cutscenes, obviously.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah, Snow's gone until we get to Palampolum. That's like Hope's hometown.
Right.
That's chapter 7, I think.
Yeah, I remember that.
Or chapter 6. I'm sorry, it's chapter 6. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, that's actually, in terms of like, I think that's probably my favorite. Oh shit, I have to skip this cutscene. Yeah, I think in terms of like parts of the game that I really like, I'd say Palampolum and chapter 6 is probably my favorite part of the game, because like everything really, well, not everything, but like at least for most of the characters, shit really comes together for them at that part of the game. So
I just feel like it kind of sucks. Like, I understand that for the story that they had to split up, but it sucks to just have like 2 people battling.
yeah,
I feel like it just, you know, it kind of takes away the like Final Fantasy-esque of it, like having a full party. I know like it's not a full party because you're missing some people, but just 2 people, it just kind of reminds me of like, hey, I'm tag teaming Donkey Kong for Super Nintendo kind of thing.
yeah. I know what you mean. I feel like other people have kind of a problem with it too. I guess the thing that I mean, personally, it doesn't bother me because I think it's really good for the story because we get to see, we get to get like a very close look at each character, which is a really good thing.
Yeah, I understand it for the story, but like...
Yeah, but in terms of gameplay, I kind of don't like it because, it's not exactly problematic, but just in terms of like what I would prefer. The thing is, we don't necessarily have characters with balanced roles, so,
Oh, there's lots of battles.
yeah. So this is, we got introduced to, 3-way battles, which is where enemies are fighting each other. And so basically you need to just clean up house, pretty much.
Sure.
But yeah, in terms of the gameplay, yeah, so the thing is, like, the teams generally are, for like a pretty long time, the teams are Lightning and Hope, and so like they're kind of an unbalanced team because Lightning's a commando, a ravager, and a medic, and Hope is a ravager, a medic, and a synergist. So they share 2 of the same roles, and the only difference is Lightning's a commando and Hope is a synergist. So you don't have any sentinel, you don't have any saboteur. So yeah, it's just kind of...
Saz and Vanille get ravagers.
Yeah, so Saz and Vanille. Saz is a commando, and they're a bit more balanced in my opinion. Saz is a commando, a ravager, and a synergist, whereas Vanille is a ravager, saboteur, and a medic. So you're not missing any role except for sentinel.
Right.
Yeah, so in my opinion, again, a remaster could do away with this problem completely, pretty much. Where, like, I can choose my own roles for these characters, then this wouldn't be a problem at all. But, like, as it stands, I would love to have Saz be a sentinel because he has a shit ton of HP. He has the 2nd highest HP, second only to Snow. So he would make a pretty decent... He's not the best because he doesn't learn every sentinel ability, like passive ability, but, you know, just high HP alone is enough to make him
it would be worth it.
Yeah, it would be worth it to trade, like, Ravager for Saz with Sentinel. I think that would be a good trade. Like, if I were playing a remaster of this where I had access to every role, I would definitely rather have him be a Sentinel than...
Can you imagine that? Like, how much you would have to overhaul in order for that to happen?
Yeah, the thing is, they have different costs for secondary roles. So, like, for whatever reason, the secondary roles are like a hell of a lot more expensive to upgrade than your primary ones. I don't know why they did that, because I feel like part of the joy of, like, you know, customizing your team is choosing whether you want them to be like this role, or experiment with different stuff, and you know,
Yeah,
I feel like
that.
I feel like they kind of fuck it up when, you know, they make the
You
costs
feel more
so
creative too when you do that sort of thing.
And the other thing is, like, on, you know, since I know Lightning's gonna be with Hope, and Hope has the lowest HP in the game out of all the characters, and Lightning actually has the second lowest HP. You know, Lightning, even though Lightning doesn't have a ton of HP, she knows, as a Sentinel, she knows an ability called Elude, which basically means you have a 50% chance, when you're using the ability, you have a 50% chance of completely evading the attack. So that, again, that's 0 damage if you manage to evade. So, even though she doesn't have a ton of HP, that one move is like one of the best Sentinel moves, and only Lightning and Hope learn that move.
It sounds kind of invaluable, honestly.
Yeah, that's why when I get to Grand Pulse, what I like to do is make Lightning a Sentinel like as soon as possible. So I can make use of because the team I like to use once you have access to the full party is or at least at the beginning, as soon as you get all the characters together, the team I like to use is Lightning as the leader, and then Saz and Fang as the allies.
Yeah.
Because
so if you were on, like, I'm just thinking, kind of tangentially, if you were stuck on a sinking ship with one of these people, who would you want to be stuck with?
Are they just normal humans, or are they Lassie, like, with all their powers?
Like, the characters that you play.
Oh. Okay, so, like, do I have access to all their magic abilities and shit?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, and I'm on a sinking ship. Let me think. Probably not Lightning. Probably... Oh, what time is it, by the way?
We're good.
Well, I need to know, because we have to go take care of...
11:36.
Okay, so that's... What time is that for me? That's...
4?
4:30, right?
30? Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, we'll end in, like, I don't know, 10 minutes or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, probably not Lightning. I'd probably say, like... I don't know. I'm a huge fan of, like, Snow and Fang, obviously.
I'm thinking Vanille, so because she's a medic.
Yeah, I guess that'd be pretty good. Yeah, Vanille would be a good medic. Although Hope is a synergist, so he has access to, like, defensive, and he's a very defensive-minded synergist as well. So, so in that front, Hope would be pretty good. Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Snow, so I guess if I had to be stuck with just one person, it would probably be Snow. I would say Saz is pretty good too, just in terms of, like, just even just by his personality alone, honestly.
Yeah. His personality will save us.
Well, I mean, I don't want to be stuck with, like, some asshole like Lightning, so. Not that she's an asshole by the end of the game, but, you know. Oh,
Yeah,
also,
she got some issues.
also Saz is a sort of a mechanic of sorts. So if we've got like a
The engineer.
yeah, basically yeah, he's an engineer. What paradigms do I need here? Yeah, so basically I feel like he's a pretty good choice for that sort of thing, because like if something goes wrong with the lifeboat or like something like that, you know, maybe he'd be able to, or maybe he could prevent the whole thing from sinking in the first place. So yeah.
Whoa. Or wait. Wait. Okay. How do they time travel?
In the next game, in 13-2,
Yeah.
they time travel with gates. Although actually you can kind of escape to the Historia Crux, which is like the timeline. Like see the time. It's, how do I explain it? It's like you can
I was
sort of
just
escape
thinking, like,
the
if
timeline.
one of them like knew how to make it or do it, that they could just go back in time and stop it from happening.
Yeah, pretty much. The characters who can time travel in 13-2 are Sarah, Noel, Lightning, Snow, and that's it. Well, Hope has like a Hope builds like a time travel machine, but he can't go back with it. He can only jump forward in time. So yeah, but yeah, that would be, in terms of the characters who are playable in this game, that would just be Lightning and Snow. Yeah.
There's a lot of management going on. What's going on?
Yeah, so what I do here is, like, with characters like Vanille,
Yeah.
I sort of skip around to get, like, anything that's not strength, because she's not a commando, and she doesn't know any physical attacks. So strength is pretty much completely useless for her. So, like, what's a good example? Like this one, Saboteur, her next node is strength +4, so I'd prefer to get that one last, if possible. Like, this is magic, she could use magic, and this whole thing is just magic and HP. And then this next one here is strength. The last one in the medic role so far is strength, so I'll save that one for last and go get other stuff in the meantime, like Ravager.
So I have a quick question.
Yeah.
So with the I almost said chrysanthemum again. Oh my god, it's not a fucking flower. This thing, Crystarium.
Yeah.
The way it's designed and the way it's laid out,
Yeah.
is that in reference to anything? Like, because it just seems a little too random to me.
A
Does it
reference.
reference anything? Okay, so like I'm just thinking like, okay, so for like another game like Skyrim,
Yeah.
the like skill tree is like in a constellation of the shape of the thing that represents what you're,
Yeah.
doing. Which I think is like kind of neat, at least it shows like because if it were like archery and it weren't in the shape of an arrow and it was just like circles upon circles
Yeah.
like that, like I would be like, I'm kind of like, this is not exciting to me, like, because like ideally what you want is like even though for Skyrim it's kind of linear, it's like, but if you're actually playing connect the dots with it
Yeah.
to make the picture.
In terms of references, I guess, well, first and foremost, it looks a little bit like the sphere grid from 10, so I don't know if it's a reference to that or whatever, but other than that, the way it unlocks kind of reminds me of like a budding flower. Just, I don't know if that was the intention, but like if you open it up, I can show you in a sec.
No, yeah, I can see that too, but like I understand what you mean by that, but then does it refer to anything in the game?
Well, let me think about
Like,
that.
does it make an allusion to circles or like a bunch of circles or something?
Well, when they summon, you know, there's a huge circular rune that shows up. But other than that, not really. Just in the way, like, if you look at any of the Crystariums, the way they, like, sort of show up kind of reminds me of a flower, and lightning is, Lightning, who's the main character, kind of has, like, a flower motif going on. So, at the very least for lightning, it makes sense, I think.
Sure. Okay.
Maybe not for the other... again, I don't know if that was the explicit, like, intent. But that's just kind of what I think of when I see it.
So these guys, what's their deal?
They're actually...
They're kind of like bird people?
Yeah. Louis thinks they look kind of like, I like how they dance around a lot. Louis thinks they look like... what did he say they were? Like, they look kind of like, if you've ever seen, like, Aztec murals, sometimes they kind of look like those types of creatures, and that's pretty cool. Anyway, this enemy is called the Incubus. I don't know why. I think there's other enemies in Final Fantasy with, like...
Oh man, okay, no, if you look at the face, it does look like either Aztecian or Inca.
Yeah, because they look kind of like they're wearing masks or something, and they've got this really long feather-looking hair, and they dance around.
Yeah, oh, that's cool.
Yeah, they do like tribal dance. I think it's really cool. Yeah, it's just an example of cool enemy design. I think the enemy design is really cool in this game. And, like, the way it reflects Cocoon and Pulse's, like, dichotomy. And we talked about this a little bit last time, but, like, how Cocoon is basically, like, futuristic sci-fi world.
Right. Yeah.
And Pulse is, like, if Australia was an entire planet, like the outback of Australia was a whole planet.
I'm gonna go peek ahead.
Do me a favor. Stop wandering off and stay where I can keep my eye on you.
Yeah.
Whoa. I kind of like watching them like be synchronous for a little bit.
Yeah. Oh man, and there's other ones later on in the game that have like massive ninja stars on their back, and they kick them at you. It's so fun.
Whoa. Cross-cultural there.
Yeah, and those are the ones on Pulse that kick ninja stars at you. These are probably my favorite, like, if I had to choose, like, a single enemy that I, like, love the most, it would probably be this type of enemy. What are they called?
I want this guy, and then, like, the Incubus, and then the, those dancing potato guys.
Oh yeah, the Scandroids, yeah.
Yeah, they need to have a dance party.
I love all the dancing robots.
Can't we just talk this over?
They dance so cool and funny too.
Yeah.
It's like, I am just being me.
They're just happy to be here, yeah.
And then they die.
Yep.
Oh no. Dance till you die.
Oh my god, did you see that edit that somebody made of Lewis doing, like...
Yeah.
Did you see that? Yeah. Are you subscribed to that person on YouTube?
Yeah. Oh
yeah. I've been meaning to tell you about them.
I love their stuff. Oh my gosh, yeah.
There's been so much amazing Yogscast content in the past, like, year. Like, pretty much since the Jingle Jam, there's been just nothing but non-stop amazing Yogscast content.
Yeah.
Check things out.
Yeah, so anyway, those enemies, what are they called? Would they be feral creatures, I guess? They're called daemons with an E. Yeah, that's like the name of their family or something? Or I don't know. Because they when you click on data log and then enemy intel, you can look at all the stats of like all the enemies. And the types, they're sorted by types. So like soldiers, those are humans, and you got all the SciComm enemies. Then there's militarized units like the drones and the Zwerg droids, and you got Zwerg scan droid. And then behemoths and all that shit. Feral creatures like the dancing birds, the daemons. Pulse automata.
Nice.
It's pulsework soldiers. There's Seath, and then others is like Falsi and Eidolons and stuff.
Yeah. Very nice information architecture there.
Yeah.
Good job.
Yeah, it's really well done.
So after this battle, I think should wrap it up.
Yeah, I'll find the save point.
An ATM.
Yeah, an ATM. But yeah, I guess we got pretty far. We're on chapter 4 now, I think. I think we're pretty close to chapter 5.
Oh yeah, good.
Yeah. So if anybody's wondering, like, if you haven't played this game before and you're wondering how far into the game you would I would recommend playing to decide like whether you're gonna enjoy it or not, I would say up to if you're playing on console, it would be to the start of the second disc, which is the start of chapter 5. Oh, there's a save point right here. Cool.
Oh, perfect. Thank you.
Yeah, so once you get to the start of chapter 5, you've pretty much experienced not everything, but like most of the cool stuff the game has to offer. So if you get to that point and you're like not enjoying anything out of it, then I would say you gave it a good shot at that point. So yeah.
Nice.
So I'm just gonna level these guys up.
Do some management.
Yeah. Ravager. Is it all strength from here? Or there's some HP here. Cool. Yeah. So yeah, that's pretty good for today. Yeah, once we get more Crystarium level ups, you'll be able to see how it looks kind of like a flower or something like that.
It will blossom.
It will blossom, yeah.
You're like, yes, it will.
It
will blossom, bitch.
Without a doubt, it will blossom. Okay, so yeah, that's pretty good for today. In short, Snow was not revealed, and that's incredibly unfortunate. But yeah, Yuna's up next, so that's like 2 months from now. So that'll be cool. Everybody's wondering to see like if it's gonna be Yuna from the original 10, like she was in the previous game, the previous Dissidia, like Summoner Yuna, or if it's gonna be Gunner Yuna from 10-2. Cause
do they have any characters from like the second of their title? Their game title?
I don't think so. Unless you count Yuna, because Yuna was playable in 10-2, so...
Right, yeah.
Unless you count her, then no, I don't think so.
Well, that's the new bet we're gonna do, though, I guess.
Yeah. The thing is, I feel like Sarah's really popular, like, not just in Asia, but also over here. So I feel like... I don't know. I feel like after they add Snow, I feel like the next most popular character they could add from 13 is Sarah. What I really want them to do is just separate 13 and 13-2 so that we can get Sarah, Noel, and Caius from like as representatives for 13-2, and then we could get lightning and snow, and maybe that's it for 13. Nomura said that he wanted Saz to be in the game, so that's pretty cool. And I would love to see Fang, but that's just kind of because I love Fang. But I love Saz too, so you know, the more the merrier, honestly. So yeah.
Hi.
Yeah. Oh yeah, also Final Fantasy Crystal Chronicles is getting a remaster. I don't know if you heard about that, or if you've ever played Crystal Chronicles. It's a GameCube game, like a multiplayer GameCube game. I've never played it, so I don't really know or particularly care about it. But you know, if you're interested in that, go check it out. I don't know exactly when that's releasing, but yeah, cool stuff coming from Square. So yeah, also TGS is going on right now, so if y'all are interested, go check out, I don't know, whoever's covering it, maybe GameSpot or IGN, I guess.
Go find it.
Go find it yourself, because I haven't been paying much attention to it. Other than that Yakuza spin-off game, which I forgot to tell you about, called Judge Eyes in Japan, or Project Judge in the West. That looks super cool. I'm excited for that. So yeah. TGS. And I guess if there's any other cool shit coming from TGS, I guess we could talk about that next time. But yeah, for now, I guess we'll sign out, unless you've got anything else to say.
I guess we'll see you all next Wednesday.
Yeah. Alright, so I hope you guys enjoy. Gonna tab out and close the stream. So thanks for stopping by, everybody, and we'll see you next time. Bye.
Bye.